Some parts of Accra are expected to experience power outages from October 5th to December 5th, 2021. The Ghana Grid Company Limited says this has become necessary to enable them to execute planned works within the Achimota-Malam corridors for the decommissioning and replacement of existing lines with new higher capacity conductors. In a letter requesting the Electricity Company of Ghana's implementation of the move, Gridco indicated that it has become crucial, quote, to transfer as much load as possible to Pokwase, Achimota, Accra East, and Tema in order to limit loading at Malam and Accra Central substations. The area to be affected have been categorized into groups A, B, and C. Group A comprises Adabraka old-timers, Mamprobi, Choko, Agege, Latobia Kwashi, Valco Trust, Teachers Hall, among others. In Group B are Apollo Theatre, Asalam Down, Adabraka Market, Koligono, Sukura, Mamprobi Polyclinic, Jamestown, Mataiko. Group C also includes Central Police Station, Kokobod, Kingsway, Abosokai, Choko, Apia Dankwa, Graphic Press House, SNIT. The University Teachers Association of Ghana has asked its members to resume their suspended strike on Friday, October 8, 2021, over poor conditions of service. This was contained in a communique issued to its members on Tuesday, October 5, 2021. According to the said communique, the decision was arrived at on Friday, October 1, 2021. UTAG insists the decision has become necessary because negotiations with the government are in stalemate a month after it suspended the earlier strike. UTAG also added that, quote, unfortunately, within the 1-month moratorium, the employer never shifted its position, even though UTAG made a number of concessions. It thus concluded that, quote, for this reason, the National Executive Committee of UTAG, at its meeting held on October 1, 2021, resolved that if the employer's position remains unchanged by Friday 8th of October 2021, members should resume the suspension of teaching and related activities until further notice. that anyone who issued a dud check for the third time in 3 years will be banned from issuing checks within the country for a minimum period of 3 years. The government and the Ghana Union of Traders Association are awaiting a response from a consultative meeting between the Nigerian Union of Traders Ghana and the Nigerian government over recent trade disagreements. GUTA and NUTAG for some time now have been having a toss over the presence and operation of the latter in the Ghanaian retail space. The latest was the locking up of some 40 retail shops owned and or operated by Nigerians in Koforidua on Monday, September 20th, 2021. The shutdown was by GUTA members to express anger over what they called the, quote, escalating number of foreigners in the retail business in the country, especially the New Dwabin South municipality. The Ministries of Trade of both countries, in the quest to resolve the recurring disagreement, set up a joint implementation task force comprising members of GUTA and NUTAG. The task force has, however, charged GUTA to stay off any further actions until they had response from Nigeria to know the next best form of action for mutual benefit. Some staff of the Tema Oil Refinery have been interdicted for their involvement in the alleged theft of 10.4 million Ghana cedis worth of cables. According to the Interim Management Committee, the affected staff, quote, who hold various positions of responsibility and accountability concerning the transfer of products, have been queried and interdicted pending the outcome of investigations. It added, quote, the Interim Management Committee at the Tema Oil Refinery Limited has, as part of its ongoing mandate, to conduct technical and HR audits and also access viable business partnerships for the refinery, have concluded that the consistent product and financial losses need to be eradicated completely if the refinery is to meet its vast potential. The statement added, quote, the IMC, however, wishes to reiterate that the investigations will be carried out with due consideration to a fair process. We implore everyone to be patient and not jump to any conclusion until investigations have been completed. The Malawi High Court has sentenced a well-known business tycoon to 9 years in prison after he was found guilty of trying to bribe judges in an election case. Thompson Mpengenjira wanted to get the judges on the side of the then-president Peter Mutharika in a case whereby the opposition had challenged a fraudulent election won by Mr. Mutharika. Mpengenjira, one of the richest people in Malawi, was recorded on tape offering financial inducement to one of the judges to influence the outcome. In 2020, the court eventually ruled there had been widespread irregularities leading to a new presidency under Lazarus Chakwera. In passing the sentence, Judge Dorothy Digabile said Mpengenjira had not committed, quote, a mere offense involving dishonesty, but an offense committed brazenly and with impunity at a critical time in the country's history. The court imposed 2 9-year sentences on 2 counts, but the sentences were run concurrently because, quote, the offenses were committed in one transaction, according to the judge. Mali's foreign minister summoned France's ambassador on Tuesday to protest against comments made by French President Emmanuel Macron on the country's military-dominated government. The foreign minister said it had summoned the French ambassador to inform him of the authorities' indignation and disapproval, news agencies report, quoting a statement. President Macron on Tuesday accused Mali's military authorities of abandoning their responsibilities. He told French media it was not the role of the French army to fill in for what he described as the, quote, non-work of the Malian state. The minister called on the French authorities to show restraint, avoiding value judgments, the Mali's foreign minister said. Last month, Mali's interim Prime Minister Chukwumega accused France of, quote, abandoning the nation mid-flight after the European country decided to reduce its troops, thereby up to half. Relations between the two countries have deteriorated since last year's military coup in Mali. Australia is to stop sending asylum seekers to Papua New Guinea, marking an end to its controversial detention regime in the nation. PNG is one of two Pacific countries paid by Canberra to detain asylum seekers and refugees who attempt to reach Australia by boat. Australia said its arrangement with PNG will conclude by the end of the year, but it will continue its divisive offshore processing policy on the remote island nation of Nauru. Quote, Australia's strong border protection policies have not changed, Home Affairs Minister Karen Andrews said on Wednesday. Quote, anyone who attempts to enter Australia illegally by boat will be returned or sent to Nauru, she added, without clarifying it as not illegal to seek asylum. The 120 asylum seeker and refugees remaining in PNG will have the option to resettle there or to be moved to detention in Nauru. Vasily Lomachenko and Richard Comey have agreed to a deal for a December 11 fight at Madison Square Garden, multiple sources told ESPN on Tuesday. The clash of former lightweight champions will air following the Heisman Trophy presentation, one of the most coveted dates and time slots on Top Rank's programming schedule. Lomachenko, the former three-division champion, lost his three 135-pound titles to Teofimo Lopez in October in a closely contested fight for the undisputed championship. The 34-year-old Ghanaian rebounded with a 6th-round KO of Jackson Mariners in February and will now seek to become a two-time champion. British World Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury says his achievements in the sport have already made him a boxing great and that his love of fighting is what motivates him to continue. The unbeaten 33-year-old defends his WBC title against American Deontay Wilder in Las Vegas over the weekend. It will be their third fight after a draw in 2018 before Fury gained a 7th-round win in the 2020 rematch. Quote, "If I didn't have any more fights, I would not regret anything," said Fury. "I'm not fighting to be the greatest of all time. I'm not fighting to be a legend." It wouldn't benefit me earning another £50 million or £200 million. You don't need to be rich to live my life. I'm just a normal person who's very good at boxing and a very special, chosen person. I could walk away and never look at boxing again, and what I've done could never be taken away, Fury said. Ghanaian rapper Kwame Ametipe Chikata, known in showbiz as Manifest, has asked Ghanaian DJs to make a conscious effort to promote Ghanaian music. Responding to claims that Ghanaian music consumers now get influenced by foreign songs they come across on the internet, he said there is still a role for the DJs to play in making the local songs appeal to the audience. According to Manifest, the DJs should not give up and conclude that all hope is lost in helping push the Ghana agenda. Quote, "The DJs are tastemakers. They have to recognize their position as such and not just be dictated by the people. You decide that. You are part of making those decisions because you have the position of power," he said. You have to make a conscious effort like Amapiano DJs. They know what they're doing. They are privileging something South African. So we can't just always be swayed by TikTok and whatever. You are determining the next week, the month after. So as a tastemaker, there is too much of throwing our hands in the sky and saying this is the status quo, Manifest added. Adele has released a snippet of her first new music for 6 years and revealed that the full song will be out next week. The pop star posted a 21-second black and white clip on Twitter showing her putting a cassette bearing the song's title, Easy on Me, into a car stereo. That's followed by 13 seconds of the song's instrumental piano introduction. Her tweet said Easy on Me will be released on Friday, 15th October, with her fourth album expected to follow. It comes after posters and projections appeared around the world bearing the number 30, which is expected to be the title of the highly anticipated album. The clip was watched 5 million times in the first hour on Twitter and Instagram, a figure that had doubled by the end of the day.